Welcome back, everyone, for Marketing Mondays. We are really glad to have you back today after our break from last week. For those catching up later in the recording, we're glad to have you as well. So today we're going to be looking into the top tips for integrating sustainable practices into your tourism business and into your marketing strategies. And my name is Kara. I'm one of your hosts today. Along with me, we have my co-host PJ, who most of you know.
Hey,
And
y'all.
hey PJ. And we are going to together guide you through the ins and outs of sustainability and sustainability in marketing. So let's just take a quick look at our blueprint for today. So today we are going to go through sustainability in tourism. We're going to navigate through 10 really pivotal points on the topic. We're going to begin with a quick dive into the 4 pillars of sustainability, which is important in understanding sustainability in tourism overall. Then we'll explore the physical efforts required for sustainable practices. We'll follow this up with leveraging the digital landscape to enhance your sustainability efforts. Next, we will delve into ethical communication strategies to help engage your audience, and also look at the importance of really actively involving our stakeholders in all of our sustainability endeavors. We'll also discuss today the essence of continuous improvements and innovations. PJ and I will go through a few real-life examples as well that will help to illustrate these concepts in action. And then this will pave the way for our actionable next steps. And then finally, to conclude, we'll look at a few key takeaways before we open up the floor to questions and discussion. So if you have any questions or want to talk about anything, feel free to put it into the chat and we'll get to that at the end. Okay, so as we start today, we're really looking into our understanding of sustainability in tourism. And here's where we can really work to unravel the interconnectedness within the 4 key pillars of sustainability and how they work together. And so PJ and I are going to go through the 4 pillars with you so that we all have just this really strong foundational understanding. So firstly, we have human sustainability, and this really aims to elevate the quality of life of all stakeholders involved in your processes. And so this is the level of where the organization is creating for people, ensuring that they have a good well-being, greater health, good jobs, the opportunity for advancement, and so forth. And then second, we have social sustainability. And social sustainability really emphasizes the importance of fostering community resilience through equitable practices. And so, for instance, an example of this could be like in agriculture and the ties that we see between farmers and their local communities, customers, suppliers, and lenders. And then PJ, if you could tell us about the 3rd and 4th pillars, and also I know that you're really knowledgeable from a lot of your past positions as well with the physical efforts of sustainability. So if you could walk us through those as well.
Yeah, of course, Kara. Thank you so much. So talking a little bit about economic sustainability, this promotes financial viability and also supports the local economies. So that helps to ensure that businesses, operations can thrive without any concern, without any worry, or without compromising future opportunities. And if the last thing you want is to feel like you're not going to be able to be financially viable to continue to operate. So some examples might include investing in renewable energy resources, which is more of a long-term investment, but it's still a very important one, as well as investing in sustainable or even regenerative agricultural practices. But also being economically sustainable means that you are operating efficiently with your resources so that you continue to operate and do business. So big congratulations for everybody here because you're taking advantage of some free training, which obviously can help with your resource management. Hopefully that uplift can come in handy now through the next little bit to be able to help you all out a little bit. All right, then environmental sustainability, which I kind of touched on previously, in the last one, but it protects natural resources and minimizes the ecological footprint of all our activities like tourism activities. Also emphasizes the efficient use of resources to ensure that future generations have access to the necessary raw materials, energy, things like organic practices allow production of healthy food for ourselves, the planet, livestock. It's good for everybody. So, like her mentioned, now we'll kind of look into some possible physical efforts for implementing sustainable practices in our business. So, first one is energy efficiency. I know that y'all are probably very familiar with these, but examples include LED lighting, installing solar panels, smart thermostats. Quick story. So, I'm at Appalachian State University, and we have been moved to an old dorm, as that's where our offices are. And basically, all we have is heat. We have no air conditioning. So they turn the heat on in October, they turn the heat off in April. And if it's too hot for you, you have to open a window. Like that's the method there. So all I'm saying is it would be great to have smart thermostats, because what we're currently using, I can only imagine how much heat we are sending up into the mountains around Boone whenever people are getting too hot. Next one is water conservation. So think about low flow fixtures, even rainwater harvesting. So according to the National Climatological Center, as of 2020, North Carolina as a state averages 54 inches of rain per year. Some areas in the mountains around where Kara and I live are considered tropical rainforests because they average over 100 inches. So, harvesting rainwater can be beneficial, and we get plenty of rain in this area to make it viable. Gray water systems, so think about water from dishwashers, washing machines, showers, sinks, bathtubs, anything that's not flush, so to speak, that you can reuse for irrigation. And then this one, waste management, we're all familiar with recycling, removing plasticware, or even traditional to-go containers. There's an organization in Durham called Green to Go, and it was established back in 2017 to reduce waste. So it's a collaborative. They're basically reusable to-go containers. And so certain restaurants that are part of this collaboration will accept those, they wash them for you, and then you get your to-go food in those. So kind of a cool concept that people are using to try to help, reduce the amount of waste that's going into our landfills. And then, of course, there's composting. As far as taking care of our natural resources, think about trails, grounds, waterways, areas that we want to protect. And then being mindful of the products that we use, sustainable sourcing with local products, with eco-friendly supplies, whether it's cleaning supplies or guest amenities for hotels. We recently took a trip, myself and my family, and I'm sure for those that travel on a regular basis, you'll notice in the showers that they all have the larger bottles instead of the individual shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. So another option there to reduce the amount of waste that's being thrown out. And then green transportation, bike rentals, shuttles, encourage walking. Think about it from like a parent's perspective. I know for us, our kids are older. I think, Kara, your kids are younger. But, whenever you're traveling and you get to a place, loading up the kids and the car seats and everything else and having to remember everything to take with you, it can be a chore. If you're in an area that you are close enough to like a downtown area or trails, definitely encourage walking. It's kind of nice to be able to do that. And then another thing, green transportation, limiting the number of those accessing parks. A lot of the national parks are doing that now. I remember back 20 years ago when I went to Zion National Park, which is in Utah, they did not allow cars in the national park. It was all park and shuttle. Grandfather Mountain, which is close to us, started a reservation system to limit the number of cars during COVID, and they continue to do that now. And then education, putting up signage, tours that focus on sustainable efforts, encourage participation from your guests. At the end of today's webinar, we're going to share some examples, like Kara mentioned, about some tourism operations that have implemented sustainability into their operations. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Kara now, and she's going to talk a little bit about the digital landscape for sustainability.
Thanks, PJ, for all that information. So now let's take a quick look at leveraging the digital landscape. for our sustainable marketing plan. So when we look to this, we can look and focus on several key strategies here. So one thing we want to look at and consider is using QR codes versus print materials. So this is where we're really looking into or opting for creating QR codes instead of printing flyers or brochures. This really helps to reduce paper waste and also promotes eco-friendliness. We're also looking at social media and website promotion. So this is the idea of redirecting people to our social media accounts or our website instead of distributing flyers or other paper materials, because it really decreases our reliance on physical materials, but it also works to enhance our online engagement as well. We can consider email marketing here, or utilizing email campaigns to keep customers really informed, which reduces or eliminates the need for physical mailings. This helps to cut down on paper usage and transportation emissions. And then there's also the concept of virtual tours. So this is the idea of offering virtual tours or experiences. It helps to minimize the environmental impact that's associated with physical travel, but it's still providing engaging content for potential guests in the future as well. And so these digital initiatives not only align with our sustainable practices, but they also help to contribute to just a more overall efficient and eco-conscious marketing approach. And so now that we have gone through some ideas of both physical and sustainability initiative and digital sustainability initiatives, let's take a look real quick at how we can ethically communicate our strategies to our audience. So in ethically communicating our sustainability strategies to our audience, we want to always really prioritize authenticity and transparency. And so transparent messaging is so important here because we want to emphasize clear communication of all of our sustainability practices and also the rationale and the thought that's going into them. And so by doing this, it helps us to avoid any sort of ambiguity with our audience, and also to foster a really strong sense of trust with them. We can also look at sharing authentic stories. So by sharing genuine stories and examples of our sustainability journey, it really works to humanize our efforts. And so that resonates with our audience on a more personal level. We also have collaborative campaigns. So this is the idea of partnering with initiatives like Outdoor and Sea, for example, to work to promote responsible tourism behavior. And this also demonstrates our commitment, or our business's commitment to collective action and shared goals within our community or our regions. And then finally, we have community engagement. So this is really working to actively involve our audience in sustainability efforts. It empowers them to participate and to contribute as well. It fosters a sense of ownership with our audience, and a collective responsibility in our communities to maintain that sustainability strategy. And so by adhering to these principles, we can work to ensure that our communication aligns with our sustainability values, and it avoids the pitfalls of greenwashing. So you're ultimately building stronger connections with your audience based on trust and based on authenticity. And so a really good example of this, of strong ethical communication, is Outdoor NC's Leave No Trace initiative, which is highlighted on their website. You can take a look at. But their plan really clearly highlights their 7 principles of their initiative. And then through these principles, it helps park visitors to learn about and understand how that they can participate when visiting and help minimize negative human impacts on the parks so that everybody can enjoy them. And now, PJ, can you talk to us just a little bit about how we can work to engage stakeholders in our sustainability plan as well?
All right, so let's talk a little bit about engaging stakeholders. It's such a crucial component of sustainable business practices in tourism for several reasons, really. As far as building strong relationships with stakeholders, this creates loyalty as well as one of your most valuable assets, which are brand ambassadors. If you have people that are loyal to your organization, they want to tell everybody else about you as well. And that's just so important as far as business practices. Also, your local community, it's a vital group of stakeholders. By engaging with your local community, you demonstrate how tourism will benefit them directly. And similar to what we've covered in our crisis communication session a couple weeks ago, it also fosters goodwill. And recently, Visit NC published a recent report on the benefit of tourism in the state. And on average, it saves taxpayers a little over $500 a year. And so, again, just something to kind of keep in mind as you're starting to talk to your communities about the benefits of tourism. Another important stakeholder is your suppliers and partners. Collaborating with people who also believe in sustainability practices and the commitment that you have, that increases the overall efforts of doing good things, because then you have more people that are sharing sustainability out there. So leading by example. The next important stakeholder, of course, is your guests, customers, clients. Being able to educate them, involve them in your sustainability practices. I know places I've gone before where you can recycle, and it'll talk about how much you kept out of landfills. If it's like a water bottle refilling station, they've got like the counters on there which tell you how many plastic water bottles you've kept out of landfill. So just things like that. I think giving people that information helps to quantify the benefits of it. And then remember that stakeholders include non-human entities, so protecting your natural resources, so waterways, trails, and protected areas as well. And then if you can, incorporate sustainability into fundraising events or donor relations. It's one of those things that you do need to work on a little bit and involve others to kind of help get the word out. So that might be a platform for that. And then don't miss out on the next generation, kids activities, kids program, things that help the younger generation believe in the sustainability practices, because those are going to be the people that are kind of helping the environment in the future. So by implementing a collaborative approach, you can enhance your visitor experiences and also build long-term and resilient relationships. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some continuous improvements and innovations. Sustainability is not a one and done. It's an ongoing process. It requires regular assessment and innovation. I know a lot of us are one-person teams, but if you ever have an opportunity either for a summer intern or somebody that, if you're hiring part-time, that's also a student, that might be a really cool and beneficial opportunity for your business to be able to implement some of these strategies while giving them something for their portfolio to help them manage, some sustainability plan. So, set some goals, establish clear and measurable sustainability goals, track your progress. You can use different tools or metrics to help monitor that, and then make data-driven decisions based on your outcomes. And then innovate, stay updated on latest sustainability trends and technologies, and incorporate new methods, as they become available. And so as we talked about, we're going to share a few real life examples. The first one is from Grandfather Mountain. If you go to their website, they have an entire page dedicated to sustainability at Grandfather. They even call themselves stewards of the park and the preserve. They really want to protect that special place. If you haven't been, we of course highly recommend it. And they talk about their mission to be able to protect Grandfather Mountain, and they talk about recycling, and they also talk about using reusable rags and mops, and that 80% of the lighting is LED lighting now. They have low flow plumbing. They talk about charging stations, solar panels, a variety of things, but it kind of goes down. They even have programs for their staff to use reusable cups. Anyway, it's a really great example of really incorporating sustainability into your business. And then Stardust Cellars, which is actually in Wilkesboro, which is one of our western counties for Uplift Now. And they are North Carolina's first and only biodynamic vineyard. So what does that mean? It's essentially a closed ecosystem, and they follow a sustainable approach with organic materials used throughout the operation. I'm going to turn it over to Karen. She's going to give you a couple more examples.
Yeah, those are great examples. I need to visit Grandfather Mountain. It sounds like a great place. But we also have Farm Cafe in Boone, which is actually where PJ and I are located. This is a great sustainability initiative from them. Farm stands for Feed All Regardless of Means. They utilize produce and meats from local farms. So they have those relationships with all the local farmers, including seasonal vegetables and sustainably raised meats. They also use like the ugly produce from local farms to prepare meals. And then these meals are delivered to nonprofits throughout the community. We also have East Fork Pottery, which is a nice little business located in Asheville, North Carolina. They are a B Corp and a climate neutral certified brand. And so what this means, this standard is achieved by companies who actively offset and reduce all of their greenhouse gas emissions. So they're a living wage certified, and their commitment to sustainability extends into their community. They work to form partnerships with local nonprofits and grassroots organizations to promote a variety of social justice initiatives. Their tagline is actually pottery made with intention. And they're really working through their business to incorporate not one, but all four pillars of sustainability into their strategy. So now we've looked at a few real life examples of companies integrating sustainability practices. PJ, will you share a few actionable steps for us moving forward?
Absolutely. And I believe I remember to take the mute off, so hopefully everybody can hear me. So actionable next steps, assess your current practices. Again, if you have the ability to hire an intern or bring somebody in part-time or make that part of their responsibilities, I think that's great. Evaluate your current operations, identify some areas for improvement. Next is to create a comprehensive sustainability plan. Again, start slow, develop something that includes specific goals, and consider strategies for each pillar of sustainability. And then bring your staff into it. I think a lot of people really feel strongly about it. And so I don't think it's a hard sell on your staff to be able to do their part and to make it important for your guests. And then, begin with manageable changes and then gradually expand your efforts and then continue to monitor, set a calendar date 6 months out to be able to monitor and adjust changes as needed. So, all right, I'm going to turn it back over to Kara for our key takeaways.
All right, everyone. So this wraps up our presentation for today. But before that, we go to our Q&A and our chat, let's look at just a few key takeaways. So in summarizing our full discussion today, we want to really work to adopt that holistic approach to sustainability. It's really important for tourism businesses by understanding and integrating the four pillars of sustainability: human, social, economic, and environmental. We can really forge that balance that we want and the committed effort towards sustainability. Practical sustainability practices are important, such as implementing energy efficient measures, conserving water, reducing waste, responsibly sourcing products. All of these are really essential for minimizing our ecological footprint. We do want to try to leverage digital tools and platforms where we can, including QR codes, social media, email marketing, virtual tours. All of these allow us to really enhance our online presence and our engagement, while also minimizing physical resource use. Authentic and transparent communication are really key here. So we want to remember that. Effectively sharing our sustainability efforts backed by authentic stories, and then involving our audience in our collaborative initiatives so that we can help foster trust and connection. And then lastly, continuous improvement. And as PJ talked with us about stakeholder engagement, these are vital to our strategy. So regularly assessing and innovating our sustainability practices, setting measurable goals, and actively engaging all of our stakeholders really ensures an ongoing progress and our collective commitment to sustainability. So this is from local communities to suppliers, customers, and natural resources. And so that concludes our Marketing Mondays episode for today. I hope that you have enjoyed it and learned a little bit something new about integrating sustainable practices into your business and your marketing strategy.